has the leg, looking to sweep the second. He's got him to the ground.
Does a nice job sitting him down, but there's no takedown yet.
The fans want it. There's the takedown. He's got the three, maybe more. Peyton Hall, will he have enough time?
The action in this one has...
There's the warning for stalling.
Excited. We get a stall warning. Wolfram going for the takedown. He's got the leg in. There's
a fall. That was a fall and he missed it. It's going to be a fall right here.
He's got a chance for the pin. There it is. Michael Wolfram.
Sweeps the leg and a big takedown from Peyton Hall.
There's a
shot for Dowling. And Dowling gets the 2-point takedown. 8 seconds into the overtime period.
You're watching Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus, live from the WVU Coliseum, a unique event. WVU Wrestling taking place alongside WVU Gymnastics. It's Beauty and the Beast as the Mount Theater Wrestling Squad takes on the Glenville State Pioneers. Alongside former WVU wrestler Tony Honorado, my name is Eric Little. Thanks for having us in on your Sunday afternoon. A lot of different things, different noises, different distractions, a different setup for this event. What kind of challenges does that pose?
Well, you know, you've got 3 different teams that are here, like bouncing all over the place, so that's a little bit different. I mean, wrestling, you're kind of used to other whistles and mats, but this is a lot different from that sside of it. Music, things along those lines. I
think it'll flying in.
Yeah, exactly, all that sort of thing, right? And the screaming will be another thing that you don't really hear at too many wrestling matches.
That's a good look at the setup overhead. Wrestling on the left, the floor exercises on the right. It's one of the things that Dylan Cottrell, the Glenville State head coach, said to us earlier this week when we spoke with him, is that this is an environment that will help prepare his team for nationals, regionals before that, but nationals where you got multiple mats going, multiple things going on, music coming from different places. And speaking of Dylan Cottrell, he wrestled in the first ever Beauty and the Beast event here at WVU. Cottrell, the school's first ever Big 12 wrestling champion back in 2016. Here's the promo video from that event. You saw him on the right a moment ago. Cottrell, out of Roane County, a Spencer native, helped promote this event when he was a student athlete here. Dylan Cottrell now comes in as the head coach of the Glenville State Pioneers. There he was as the wrestler at WVU, and here he is now from where he was to where he is in his 4th season at Glenville State. 3 full seasons, the first year during COVID. Cottrell comes in as the 2023 Mountain East Conference Coach of the Year. This Pioneers team has already locked up the Mountain East Conference Championship in 2024, and he faces the veteran Tim Flynn in his 27th season overall and 6th at WVU. 40 wins under his belt in dual action at WVU. So a unique event. You're going to hear some different sights, some different sounds. The backdrops are going to look different. We're in a different place broadcasting this event. They're in a different place wrestling the event. We're all shoved a little bit closer. Everyone's made room for everybody else, and we're going to have a really fun day. You're going to see us in the background of some of these shots, by the way, a little bit more than usual. Well, Jet Strickenberger comes in for WVU. He is the 22nd ranked wrestler in the country. Native of Colorado Springs, takes on Hunter Ross, one of 2 Ross brothers that transferred into this program from Coker. Strickenberger's first time we've seen him in a while after he moved up to 133 for Columbia in early January, and he's been tapering back down to 125 cents.
Yeah, you're right, and so he's had some challenges with that, but he's wrestled really well, at least for the first 6 minutes. Problem is the match is 7 minutes long. It's had some challenges with that, and we'll see what he does here today. And again, it's like anything, right? You got to be prepared to go. If you're wrestling the #1 guy in the country or the guy who nobody's never heard of before, it's sort of about you and how you get yourself in the right place, what you're doing to warm up, what you're doing to from making weight to all that kind of stuff. So
he was in on the double leg, went back to the single.
There's
waist grab and a takedown for Jet Strickenberger, looking for more.
Well, we'll see what he does here on the top. Likes being there.
You were speaking about his bout with Iowa State. He led most of that bout against Iowa State, but really got away from him with 30 seconds left.
Right. I mean, and he obviously wants to do well. It's not like, hey, I'm going to try to go out there and run out of gas at the end. But, man, the sport is super demanding. And when you're wrestling high caliber people where you got to push that envelope all the way through to the end, and anybody who's done this obviously knows how the challenges in that.
But here it's said in so many other sports, Tony, you can't simulate game shape until you're there. You can't simulate what it's like to wrestle duels in the shape you need to be in to wrestle bouts until you're actually wrestling in duels or in open competitions.
Well, I think part of the uniqueness of that when you're in a dual meet situation or in the tournament is, in practice, you're warmed up, you got time, you do these things. Even if you're wrestling hard, you sort of know that it's not, if I give up the takedown, even though I'm fighting like crazy, so what? We just go back and we start wrestling again. In the match, that's a lot different. And so you're fighting through things a heck of a lot more. And the question is how you wrestle through that, and the energy that you expend in that process is pretty intense.
Halfway through the first period, Strickenberger has the lead on the only takedown of the bout. West Virginia's lost 4 of their last 5 duels, but all of those are versus ranked teams, and 3 of them are versus top 5 teams. Oklahoma State, Missouri, Iowa State, and University of Northern Iowa. Not exactly the easiest competition. This team had to really let the rubber meet the road at some point.
Well, and I think if you're Coach Flynn, I mean, my man does not like losing, that's for darn sure.
Sure.
But they're wrestling pretty well. They're like a match or two. They're a move or two. They're a point or two away from winning a couple of those matches, which changes the team score. You go from maybe winning a match, or you get some bonus points, or you're not giving up some bonus points. A lot of those things become very, very important. And that's what they're looking to fine-tune here as they get ready to go into the latter part of the tournament part of the season. There's a nice single switch to a double and a pretty easy takedown.
Reverse of what he had earlier, the double that he switched off into a single.
So spending more time on top too, right? So now up to 1 minute 40 seconds of riding time.
What makes that decision for you, Tony, as far as when you're going to ride out a guy, when you should cut him loose and try to take him down again?
Well, I think one of it is if you're the top, you like being on top, you're going to try to turn him as much as you possibly can. And if you're having a tough time with that, then you might cut him loose, not with like 20 seconds left here necessarily.
Yeah.
But you might cut him loose a couple of different times, see if you get a takedown. Because obviously, not obviously necessarily, but one of the best ways to score a near fall is off that takedown while people are scrambling to reorient themselves. And if you can take advantage of that, you can, especially now with a 3-point takedown and a 4-point near fall, you're up. That's 7 points. That's huge.
West Virginia in the blue trimmed in pink. This is the pink meet. Among other things, Beauty and the Beast taking place at Senior Day, the pink meet. It's a busy day at the WVU Coliseum, and Strickenberger getting right to it.
Just a nice job. Got in there nice and clean, fought through it. Look, didn't stay in a spot, fighting through it, kept moving. Didn't really allow him a chance to counter, which, I mean, that's textbook. That's what you want to be doing.
Strickenberger fights back, gets the ankle.
Nice little switch. They're going to give him that reversal there. So a little switch motion off the stand-up, and does a nice job of fighting back through it and get himself a reversal to go up, well, 8-1 now.
Lead grows to 7. Made some changes with his hair, too, Tony. He had the mop top most of the season. Now we're seeing him in the tight cornrows.
Hey, whatever you got to do, right? I mean, you make some changes. You know that you need to do some things differently, and, you know, and people, hair is one of the easier things, right?
Styling and profiling here on Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, there's music going on in the background, and if you watched any of the Iowa State duel, you might have heard music in the background. That was more trap beats and hip-hop. This is kind of like wrestling in a Forever 21, the kind of music you're hearing here. Just not quite the music that you would wrestle to and that would pump you up.
No, well, that's just not what it's designed for, right? It's designed to help people, especially the girls who are on the balance beam, to keep distractions down.
And the floor routine.
Right, exactly. I don't think they're active on floor at the moment, but I know they do that related to balance so that they don't have a lot of noise distractions. Like,
Tony,
balance beam, man, that tell you what, right there, that's a thing.
Tony and I are going to pull the Kevin Harlan. I'm calling both events.
Right. Oh, nice job. This is going to be a fall right here.
Strickenberger close to the pin, and as we turn back to wrestling, he rolls through it. He still gets a 4-point near fall.
Right, still on top, 4-point near fall, 12-1 at the moment. Got about 35 seconds left in the period.
Ross, the 2024 Mountain East Conference champion, 1 of 5.
Another near fall here is going to get 4 more.
Close to tech fall territory
right
here.
there.
Yeah,
that's it.
So the 4 points. A tech fall for Jet Strickenberger over Hunter Ross late in the second period.